Hey everyone, welcome back to Bogey Proof. We have an extra special episode this week. We got Matt and Mike from the Bogey Proof staff and a couple friends of the program, two past ones that have been on and a new one. Matt, kick us off and let us know where you're coming from and what you're sipping on.
Yeah, living in CT, so we're in the apartment per usual. Sipping on a little Dogfish Head canned cocktail, a little vodka lemonade, a little strawberry and honeyberry in there. Don't know what that is, but tastes fantastic. We'll go Paul Prev first, and we'll end on TJ and give him a little bit more of an intro. So Paul, where are you calling in from, and what are you sipping on?
Yeah, I'm in good old Boston, Massachusetts. I couldn't get over to the liquor store to get some dogfish. I apologize for that, but I got some Four Roses small batch.
Oh boy,
Oh, not bad. First time trying it. It's not too bad at all.
that works.
I mean,
Nice.
small Four Roses small batches is a Bogey Proof special at this point. I think
I've heard, yeah.
we are keeping them afloat across the country with our purchase of the small batch. Prev, what do you got down there?
Calling in from CT, and it's May the 4th be with you, and it's officially Corona season. Sorry, TJ. I know it's a competitor, but it's Corona season.
It's always Corona season.
Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, just prepping the body.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
We're getting in spirit, man. That's what we're here for.
And then our final friend of the program joining us this evening is our bracket challenge winner back for the Dell match play. Won a nice dozen golf balls of his choosing is TJ. So where are you calling in from? What are you sipping on? And we'll get into a little bit more after that.
Yeah, boys, just opening up for the first time. Fontaine, kind of copying you here with the vodka lemonade. Calling in from Westfield, Massachusetts. Moved up here recently, but yeah, calling up here, and thank you guys for having me on here. Excited for the next hour.
Quick
Absolutely.
fun fact: he's already lost half those balls.
Fun fact: I've lost 4 sleeves coming. I've lost 3 out of the 4.
More than half.
Fun fact. So they're going to great use. I'm using them. So.
More than half.
Being put to use, if
They're
you're
going far, though. I can attest to that.
Yeah, far right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. We'll work on that. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
So before we get too into, I think we brought you guys on to talk some gambling and all that fun stuff and talk a little Wells Fargo coming up this week at an awesome golf course. But before that, TJ, give us a little background of, kind of how you got into golf, when you kind of decided like this is going to be something that is like my main hobby outside of, work and whatever other family stuff life goes on. But
Yeah,
let's give us a little background.
So it kind of is like a 2-parter here. I started when I first was like 7, 8 years old. Everything I did was always after my brother, and my brother had friends down the street. They were playing golf, and they built like a raised putting surface. So wedge work all day, get the 56 out. We're hitting on dirt or rough, but it led us to getting our own like golf surface in the backyard. So we cut out a hole, and we would play with like 7 irons and 9 irons in the backyard. Parents hated it because we used real golf balls. Yeah, after that, once baseball started coming and started playing a lot of that, gave that up for years. And then after college, after playing baseball, like got to like junior year, senior year, Prev, might have got out on the course for like the first time with you. And then, I mean, that just kind of hit the competitive nature of me playing baseball, switched over to golf, and man, the rest is history. Especially when you can drink on the course and do whatever you really want to, listen to music, pop, smoke. Come on, give me a break. I'm having too much fun when I'm doing that. So it's great. See the boys. I think that's the biggest thing now is like, 1, being competitive, but 2, being competitive with the boys. I often look forward to Saturday, Sundays, golfing with you guys, golfing with Prev, putting some money on. I just got my ass kicked this past weekend. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun since that transition.
Love to hear it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I know we played a lot of golf the last 2 summers together, and Prev included, other friend of the program, Colin. Paul joined us a couple weekends ago. So getting out there, getting active, like I said, a little competitive with the boys. It's always a good time, and
Gambling. Awesome.
Always
Money,
good. Exactly.
Making a 5-footer, let me tell you, is a lot harder than with money on the line. It's just that right there is what golf's all about. It's not the putting 5 feet downstairs on your perfect practice. It's that putting when it's $5 on the line, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about controlling those nerves and emotions, stuff like that. And like I don't know if it's Sevi or whoever had that quote. It's like the hardest putt to make is like a $5 putt when you only have 3 in your pocket, right? It's like just being able to control that kind of shit. It doesn't matter necessarily the dollar amount. It's just second you get a little money on it, competition going, it's a little different than on the practice putting green usually is, right?
Oh my God,
So
so much different.
let's off of that, let's dive right into gambling. So, when it comes to golf, these day and age, there is a lot of different ways to bet a golf tournament of PGA Tour, LPGA, whatever you got. I mean, just running through the list, you got your daily fantasy, all those different apps. And even within those now, there's a couple different ways to do it. Whether you're picking lineups or like, I don't know, picking captains, like all the different stuff that they have within those daily fantasy apps. And then you can always do like straight up matchups, pick a guy to win his group that he's playing in. Picking winners, picking guys top 20, picking guys top 10, make cut, miss cut, all this, and you actually see it a lot more in coverage too these days, which I appreciate. They're actually not like shying away from the gambling like they used to. They're just owning it and just putting up like, head to head, Max Homa against whoever this week. Max Homa's minus 127. And then they walk you through what all that means and stuff like that. Or they show, so-and-so was plus 4,000 at the beginning of the week, ends up winning, stuff like that. I think Sam Burns last week was plus 7,000. So, good odds on that one if you sniff that one out. But I guess, off that, like, what are your guys' favorite or most common ways that you kind of bet on golf? Because I know we all do. So we'll go TJ first. What's your favorite or most common way you get some action going on the pros?
Yeah, I mean, every now and then I'll just go for like a top 10, top 20. I like to keep it simple. I haven't done the whole matchups yet. But if you really want to catch me putting money down, I'm putting money on in DraftKings or just daily fantasy, really in that matter. And I love it. I'll put down $50, $100, sometimes $200. Really just depends on the type of tournament. But nothing gets me going than a 4-day, making sure all 6 of your guys are like on a team. It's like, that's what I go with. So
it makes viewing so much more fun too, right? You take that, and then especially when you get the majors, right, where they have like, you can watch every player, every shot, like the Masters. You can go watch like Charles Howell's, first round at Augusta that got 0 TV coverage, but you got him in your daily fantasy lineup. So let me go watch how he made a 7 on 13, stuff like that just keeps you glued to the TV at all times. Mikey, what's your go-to on that? How do you usually get the action going?
Yeah, I do a little bit of the daily fantasy. I haven't done it quite as much. Just with moving to Illinois, it was a little bit difficult. It kind of got a little bit wonky for the daily fantasy for a little bit. So I did quite a bit of that in college. Don't tell the NCAA about that. But definitely was doing that quite a bit of DraftKings or daily fantasy at that point. I remember vividly the most fun I ever had gambling was in Paul and Prev's Gateway my freshman year when you guys were juniors, and we were watching the Masters, and I had like 1.2 million in my account on DraftKings because all my players were in the morning wave and they were all like in the top 10 at that point. So I was first in the whole thing. I ended up winning like $100 that week, but at one point I had all that money, and just like how unbelievably exhilarating like that moment was to like see all that green and just everything kind of moving up and down. So I do like doing that, but I would say the majority of what I do, I pick a winner almost every single week, just throw a few bucks on that just to, feel something. And then I'll usually do a top 10 and maybe a matchup, I would say, in most weeks, but I'm definitely not someone who does it every single week. Like, I think I need to be better about it, but I'm one of those people that, like, unless I do my research, I don't want to bet. So I need to spend a little more time and do a little more research when it comes to, we do these bogey proof picks every single week, but I've yet to hit outside of losing in a playoff to you, Mr. Fontaine, a couple weeks ago at the Zurich Classic. But what about Paul? What are some of your favorite ways to gamble on a weekend of golf?
Yeah, I love winners off the bat, top 5, top 10s, that standard stuff. I'm not big on tournament matchups because that can be, that can go off the rails so fast. But in group, what? One guy goes out, shoots 75 day one, and you're
You lose.
68 going into Friday, the matchup's over. It's too much to deal with. I'm a huge first round leader guy. I love that.
You have
Get a
hit that
guy
a couple
who you
times,
think,
I've noticed.
and there are like quick people. They're notable of getting out fast on tour. And a lot of times you can find them for a better value and, really boost your winnings there. And, again, you're only dedicating yourself to 5 hours of tracking that guy. And then depending on how he's doing towards the end of the day, it could be a little longer. But it's one of those, then it kickstarts. Then you maybe throw a little live bet Saturday, Sunday on a winner. And that's usually how I trend is first round leaders through winner, couple winners, few top fives. And then I usually just, figure out someone to bet on Saturday, Sunday, see if someone's going to make a little comeback and, juice the winnings from there on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
Prev, what do you get going? I'm pretty sure you're a daily fantasy guy through and through, but I know you've been dabbling in a little bit of the other stuff too.
Well, it's I agree with pretty much everything. And Paul, you were saying the matchups go Thursday, Friday. You don't do like daily matchups?
Oh, I'll do some daily matchups. I just stay away from the tournament matchups. I just do not like those.
They give you both options.
Because I'm looking at mine right now, and I'm starting to get tingly because you get I'm looking at it, and like some of these things are actually so hard to pick. And like as I scroll down and look through it, like just Thursday. So like who's gonna do better, John Rahm or Justin Thomas?
Oh, I love doing the dailies. The dailies, the single round is great.
Like one-on-ones like that. Even though I don't really do a lot of them.
And I prefer those on weekends too, just because it's 2 sums on weekends instead of the 3 sums. I like the dynamic of Saturday, Sunday because, in a lot of tournaments, you can't win unless you beat the person you're playing with.
Yeah.
So you kind of sometimes get into a match play type of atmosphere out there with certain guys, and it makes it a lot more interesting to follow and track that matchup.
Especially when you get guys that are used to being at the top and say they have a, not the hottest start to the tournament, and they're in that like make the cut. They're like 5 to 10 back going into Saturday, and you get 2 studs that just got off to a slow start. You see them both go out there, shoot 63, 65 or some shit like that. Like, because they're just, I love doing those daily matchups on like Friday or Saturday or even Saturday, Sunday after watching those guys on PGA Tour Live. And you see like, okay, he's just hitting it like shit, like he doesn't have it. Or it's like, okay, he's striping the ball, but he putted like an asshole today. Like you can kind of pick up on a little bit of a trend watching them play. And then you're like, okay, whoever he's matched up against, he's going to smoke that. Or like take the guy who peaked early in the week and fade the shit out of him Saturday and Sunday. Like, I think, and I mean, I guess we're all kind of alluding to this, but if you just the research and just watching, it's out there for the taking. I mean, granted, it's gambling, so crazy shit happens all the time, but if you pay attention to what you're watching on Thursday and Friday, you can usually do pretty well come on the weekend.
Yeah, that's a big part. And one of the honestly, if you just watch, it's cool. There's no better feeling in golf, like when you're betting on golf and you actually watch a guy play and you pay attention and you're like, oh, the best value you can get betting on golf for sure is will this guy make the cut? Easy. Will Abraham make the cut? Abraham Answer make the cut minus 250? Yes, he definitely will make the cut. So that's easy. Will Zalatoris minus 300? Yes.
I mean, Abe Answer, not to get too technical this week, but Wells Fargo, this is by far one of the upper echelon tournaments for people that drive it far and, that do really well when they hit it long ways. Abe Answer is not in that category. So I would, we might think we know a lot, but the book knows a lot too. So I think there's an if Abe Answer is going to miss a cut, it might be this week. So I'll throw that at you, Prav.
I don't know with Quail Hollow. I mean, if you look at how the PGA played a few years ago, I mean, Kisner, wasn't he 54 hole?
That PGA played so fast and so firm.
But I'm just kind of looking at how the top 10, 20 finished. There wasn't a lot of people that.
And Mikey, that's a stat, to be honest, as I've played DFS in golf, basically like TJ said earlier, every week. Driving distance, the way these guys hit it now, it's Abraham Answer's a short hitter, and he hits it out there probably 295.
And I don't even mean
it as much. And if he's striping the ball, dude, he will go off. and that's it. And he does quite frequently. He just finished 8th in the Valspar last week,
Yep.
which is also a hard course, right? So another difficult track that he's just doing well on. Just another, and he's honestly the first guy I looked at. I mean, Tony Finau minus 400 to make the cut. We should all pool together, 3 grand, combine it, go to New York, go to the sports book, and put it all on Tony Finau making the cut, and just have a good weekend. And that's it. You want to have a fun weekend?
That's
That's
a
how
problem
you.
with Tony. Like, it's not a problem with him making the cut. Just like, if you really want to dabble, like, when is that win going to happen? Because honestly, that just, for me, when I think DraftKings, right, or I think daily fantasy, I just want to pick a guy that it's got a shot to win. And I guess when you want to make the cut, yeah, you can make the cut. That's great. You can clap your hands. You won your bet for 2 days, but like, I want winners. And I just, Tony Finau, when I'm thinking even top 10, top 20, like, yeah, they're good bets, but at the end of the day, I need a guy that wins. It's just hard to pick a guy or even just root for him for that matter.
I will say, when I saw one of the, and once in a while, and actually you can really, if you pay attention enough weeks in a row and like do the top 10s, the top 5s, and the winners, you can occasionally, you'll find a misprice. And I'm very, very glad the Players Championship, the biggest misprice in history of golf betting, a top 3 golfer on the planet, some reason was 8-1 to win, even though he should have been 3-1, but that's okay. Huge misprice. And thankfully I took advantage and hit for a nice little 20 to win 400, I believe, on my guy, Justin.
Can we talk about a misprice actually for this week? For DFS, $8,000 only. Tommy Fleetwood. Are you kidding me? $8,000. Here's a couple guys that are ranked higher than him. Harris English, Emiliano Grillo, Shane Lowry. Keegan just had a hot week. I mean, Sung J M, who hasn't really done well the last few weeks, but somehow is
the real
Sanjay M will be top 10 in this tournament. You hear me?
The real catastrophe is Jason Day is ahead of
Jason Day.
Jason Day can't even walk right now. He has the worst back in the history of backs, and that's coming from a Tiger Woods fan.
And the only thing worse than his back is his beard right now. So that's the only thing worse than his back.
In the last 5 weeks, what has Tommy Fleetwood done?
Nothing.
He made 10 out of 13.
At the RBC, I know he had a bad first round, but other than that,
here's why, Paul. Because a lot of the England guys are just guys across the pond. They come over late and they come over for major season, right? So Arnold Palmer,
Tommy Fleetwood definitely lives in America.
So TJ, you think Tommy
definitely has
Fleetwood's
a house
a better
in Florida.
golfer than Sanjay M right now? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I think Tommy Fleetwood is a lot. Maybe he's not better than Sung J M, but as of right now, Sung J M and consistently, I don't think has done as well. And so for terms of value and a guy who will play a tough course well, I just think Tommy Fleetwood is going to do well. Don't get me wrong, Sung J, if you're going to look at the strokes gain approach, which is the number 1 stat when you're coming to looking at, or not strokes gain approach, strokes gained, just like driving, you need to look at the Sung J M's, the Corey Connors, the Bryson DeChambeau's. Those are the guys right now that are sitting at the top. And so when you're kind of crafting your lineup, like, you can go the statistic route and look at those guys, or you can go the Abraham answer route, the Tommy Fleetwoods that aren't at the top, but they play those tough courses well.
That's a good point. Like, when you guys, let's go, like, we'll just talk lineups. I mean, our picks, we've kind of like talked about our strategies there, but like when you guys do lineups, do you guys like research the course? Do you ride the hot hand? Do you go for the guys who are gonna, like, do you try and pick like the top dogs that you're like, this guy, he's like probably gonna win, if not top 10, he's gonna be there, like, DJ was for the last year? Or do you try and get more middle of the pack guys, make sure all your guys make the cut? Like, do you guys, I mean, is it something you do the same way every week, or do you kind of switch it up come event, whatever it is? Like, I don't know, Pre, what is your like baseline strategy, I say, like going into a week that's maybe not a major? Like, I
mean, it depends on the tournament, the field, the course, the weather. Depends on all that. If you are betting golf and you are not looking at weather, you are pissing away money. You need to be looking at weather. If a course is notoriously windy, you need to see who's like better in that stuff. It's a real thing. And that's Paul, where you can make a killing on matchups is like if a
I'd
guy's better in the wind or element.
Sergio.
I'd even say, especially, you know, when it comes to the British Open, the weather and tee times, because one morning can be completely different, afternoon completely different, then the next day it could be flipped too. So you can have the morning sessions both days playing in like just dead no wind, and at some of those courses like St. Andrews, guys will shoot 62, 61 easily. And the wind starts howling, you know, 75s come into play. So yeah, weather's important. I'd even say like weather by the hour is important too, depending on
It's
you know
crazy.
when tee
Yeah,
times
that's
are.
very true.
It's crazy. But in terms of that, Fontaine, it's more like this week, for example, like probably a little more of a balanced approach here, like tougher course. You know, I looked at the past like 10 times they played it here. It's been anywhere from like 8 under to like 21 under. So depending on whether they could really go off, and like if they could really go off, that's when you want the more middle of the pack guys, because you want a lot of guys around that 8,000 mark. I mean, I might as well just pick Stuart Sink every week. Apparently he's the best golfer in the tour now. But
You know, I have him in my lineup. He's in my
yeah,
lineup.
but I mean, that's it though. Like if you can get, because realistically they're all pros, so it's like, okay, if it's a course that should be playing easier this week, you want guys who you feel like can still do really well even though they're not 10,000. So it's like a guy like Grillo, who TJ knows is my absolute boy. Emiliano Grillo is the most underrated golfer on the planet, strikes the ball like a menace. And you know that, Fontaine. You know it. He strikes the ball like an absolute beast. And I pick him every week.
I didn't mention it, but he is in the tops of strokes gained off the tee. So when it comes time to picking a guy this week, if you don't pick Emiliano, which I know you already did. By the way, we're going to talk about Previt's go-to lineup. It's Emiliano. Who else? Help me out here.
Daniel Berger. Come on.
Yes, love
Daniel Berger. Oh, jeez. Lock every week. Usually have Tony. Who's the other guy? You go. Who is it?
I mean,
Adam Scott. That's it. And then you usually have like a Tommy Fleetwood. You have an alternator that kind of goes in there.
Yeah, and then we mix it around, but it's always Finau. My core is Grillo, Finau, Adam Scott, Berger every time.
Yeah. You don't lose a lot of money, but that for me, it's just sometimes I don't know if you win enough.
Well, does anyone win enough?
No.
No such thing.
When I win enough, I'll tell you. We'll get the Zamboni by M40, Paul, right?
Yeah,
we wouldn't be here.
If I won enough, I wouldn't be on this stupid app.
Prev, the real issue with Grillo is he is the king of the opposite field event, and he is playing well enough that he might get himself out of those opposite field events where he's just like an automatic top 10, and that's easy money too. So we got to keep an eye on that possible movement here moving forward.
Did you see him last week? What he did? Unbelievable. He literally goes 66, 75 and misses the cut by a stroke. Can you
Should I read your
that?
text that you sent to me? How you're just raving about how Emiliano is just it's like the next Tiger Woods, and then I said, Prev, he's gonna shoot a 76, and sure enough, he shot a 76. He missed the cut.
Yeah.
He wasn't the first one to do that this year too. There's been a few people that got out hot first round. Like, what was it? Tyler McCumber, I think, did it. He shot like 64, like 87. It doesn't. I don't know. I think he missed the cut. It was. And that was before the Masters. I'm trying to think of the tournament.
Happened to somebody else at Pebble. I think somebody at Pebble did that this year. Like,
yeah.
68, 78. Nice weekend.
See you,
Great
buddy.
weekend. Bon voyage.
All right, a little more
get on
off,
the PJ. You gotta like commercial.
Get into everybody else's Emiliano Grillo, right? Like TJ, who's your dark horse every week? That a staple in your lineup if you get him at the right price and he fits in there. Who's your guy that has no chance of winning? Let's be honest, but you pick him every week.
Lanto Griffin.
Hey, TJ, Lanto's one of my all-time too. I love it.
Oh my God, Mikey, it's the best. We're just intelligent people. That's why we pick Lanto Griffin. Just unbelievable. But Lanto Griffin and Sebastian Munoz. Those are two guys.
Come on, he sucks now.
Who sucks now?
It's Munoz.
Oh, give me
He had a good 2 months, and now he's terrible again, just like he should be.
Paul, tell me the times that you've bet your matchups, right, where you've gone head-to-head on the first day, who's leading the leaderboard. Has Sebastian Munoz ever been your bet, and have you ever won with him? Because I've seen him.
No.
Okay.
What has he ever been like top 10 to begin a tournament?
No, he's been
He
up.
went 7 under and won. What was that tournament? He
One.
went.
You said one.
Oh,
He went
well,
ballistic in one tournament. I forgot what it was.
yeah.
He was in the final groups on the weekend and just ham and egged it around and shot like even both days. And it's
Yes, he went parabolic the first day, like 8 birdies in a row. You know what I'm talking about?
But see, that's what I mean. Like he goes off in a consecutive pattern. It just like it could be awful for the first 5, 6 holes, and then all of a sudden, like 11 through 16, he's now like eagle, birdie, eagle, par.
But like Tommy Fleetwood does that same exact thing.
Yeah.
But I've
Tommy
seen
Fleetwood
that
has these
goes
hot
to the
stretches.
value though. That's what we got to talk about is the value. I mean,
Yes.
what
Yeah,
this
that's
week
true.
he's
get
like
him cheap. It's worth it.
7,300.
Yeah.
So
We
That's why I can't do these chats because now we're making more teams. You know.
yeah,
Now,
this is all about, right? We got to make
Another
we gotta
lineup.
make some lineups.
Paul, who's your dark horse that you sneak in every lineup when you probably shouldn't pick him, but you love him?
Man.
Or
See,
if you
I've
don't
been-
have an answer for that, who's your guy that when you spend money on him, he sucks, and when you don't spend money on him, he tops fives? Like one of the, like for me,
Well,
I get Justin Thomas wrong every single time. As
Yeah.
good as he is, I pick him when he finishes 25th, and the week I don't pick him, he wins, or he's top 3, or he's right in the hunt the whole time. I can't pick his weeks.
I love Berger. Like,
best.
again, he's another one where he can play just so like average, but then there's rounds that he can fire off like 6, 7 birdies. You get the 3 birdies in a row.
A little
You know,
bonus.
the bonus points for a lot of the daily fantasies. I mean, he's usually one of my go-tos in every lineup. Kisner's another one just because when does Kisner miss a cut? Like very rarely. And he usually sneaks in a top 25. He makes some birdies out there to boost those. Doesn't make a lot of doubles.
Yeah, he misses the cut when he's got to play with Scott Brown, who stinks.
Yeah,
That's when he misses the cut.
But those two are usually like my staples. I'm kind of upset that he's not playing this week because I honestly would have put something on him to win.
And Berger's not either, right? Pissing me off.
No,
Berger's
he
not
didn't
either,
mark.
no.
No.
Like,
Know who is realistically though, Fontaine?
What's
The
up?
best is Patrick Reed is just the best. Like I mean,
Yeah.
he.
If you
Tough
don't
golf
have him in a
courses,
lineup this
long
week,
rough. Pick him.
I
up.
stopped messing around. I make sure he's on 2 lineups. I don't even care where they're playing. I could care less. I don't even care if they had to tell him he had to play lefty for the weekend. I still want him on the team. Like he has a better short game than anyone. Like who
Ridiculous.
honestly, it's ridiculous watching that guy play golf. It really is.
The way he,
At least
like,
the one good thing too. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But like the way he chips and putts the ball, like he does what everybody envisions yourself doing, but he does that out of like PGA Tour level golf courses that are impossible around the greens.
Yeah,
He gets
it's
up and down and chips and putts like you do at your local muni when like the rough's not that long and everything just is teed up for you, or you're playing ball in hand even and you playing preferred lies up everywhere and you tee it
Yeah.
up. Like that's how he chips and putts the ball, and it's like ridiculous to see how he does that at a PGA Tour level rough, like PGA Tour level green complexes where it's like if you don't miss it perfectly, like you're usually screwed and have to like do something miraculous, and he just makes it look so easy every single time.
Yeah, he's unreal.
He's top 20 or like he misses the cut and he makes sure he misses the cut. Like it's not by like, he's not on the edge. He's he's making sure that he's on an early flight that Friday afternoon. He's
I think
out
his
of there.
personality, like given, the whole Ryder Cup and like match play kind of guy that he is and fiery, he's always fist pumping and shit out there. I think like if he gets off to that like 12 holes and he's like, a couple over and, it's a course where, the cut's at like 4 under or something like that, where it's like he's got to go ballistic day 2 to get there. Within those first 6 holes the next day, he knows whether or not, and he just shuts it down. Then he's just like, yeah, I don't have this week. I'll save that energy for next week and like come back and get him. Cause he's a guy, I mean, he's made plenty of money. It's not like he needs to grind out making cuts and shit like that. He's like, all right, if I got it this week, let's fucking go. And I'll get up in that top 15. He's like, if not, I don't know, whatever. Let's go.
He might need that extra money. He's got no sponsorships, right? So he's just
No, he got a CBDMD now. He's got all the weird ones now.
okay. No club sponsors, no apparel sponsors though, right?
Nah,
He's
he
just
doesn't need
all
Yeah,
wearing
so like
whatever the
who
hell he
gives him his
wants.
that.
like is he pay for his clubs now or what?
No,
I mean, he doesn't pay for them, but he
doesn't pay for it.
doesn't pay for them, but he doesn't make money to play them.
Yeah, exactly. He's not getting paid to play them, but he's also not paying for them. But I mean, he's rebranding. I'm sure by next year he'll he has that weird like spin groove or spin doctor
the wedges, yeah.
For the wedges, yeah. I always see his Instagram plugging that shit.
Are those even like
sponsored by
PGA
Dr.
Tour
You know?
legal?
You never know.
Yeah, no, they're just hand milled or some shit. Yeah, maybe. You know what? Given it's Patrick Reed.
I'll be shocked if he games them. It's gonna be like a Tiger played the Nike One or whatever in the like the early 2000s. But it was really just a Bridgestone golf ball, and they just Nike slapped the logo on it.
Yeah, Tiger was the king of that. Like, all right, Nike wants to give me $1 billion. Too bad, your shit sucks. I'm using something. But I'll slap a logo.
Next sponsor.
Yeah, as long as that Nike check, that's all we need.
In the world.
Unreal. You remember sorry to interrupt you, but the craziest thing in the last like couple of years of the tour is when Justin Rose just went to that Japanese brand for like 2 years, forgot how to play golf.
Miori, is that it? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I think he went to Hamna or whatever.
Hamna, that was it. It was Hamna.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Mira. It was like the second.
Mira
was
the one that was rumored to make a lot of Tiger's wedges or irons before Nike really started it all.
But he went from like top 3 in the world going into that year when he made that switch to like abysmal, like missing cuts. Like it was the quickest fall ever. And it was so obvious it was the equipment change. It was just like, I just can't believe he like did that. That was nuts.
It was so bad. I just remember like DraftKings, you would pick him, and then all of a sudden like he would fall off. And like he was U.S. Open, he was great. Some of the tournaments after that were great, and then all of a sudden like he would be 10,000, and he just would not even perform to anything close to that. It was just an absolute major drop off. It was incredible.
Seeing a reswitch.
Love that. Fontaine, though, I need to answer your question as far as best value because it's been burning a hole in my pocket here. Carlos Ortiz.
Yeah.
The guy had himself a hell of a West Coast stretch. Mm-hmm. He's done very well overall. I don't know what he's done the last couple weeks, but I know I made some money off top tens for him early in the year, kind of along that Sebastian Munoz train a little bit, but someone who's actually a little bit higher in the world at the moment. And then also, it'd be inappropriate not to call it this grievance. Tony Finau this week at Wells Fargo is paired with Jimmy Walker and Michael Kim.
It's a disgrace.
Can we do a Jimmy Walker rant? Can we talk about this for a second?
But I'm just saying, first off, what's that matchup and what are the odds? They're probably locked because you probably can't get.
There's no way. Tony would be minus 550. Like
I don't care. Let's go with Prev's idea there, though.
Pull together.
Go put I'll go put 5K on that because the other two, Michael Kim missed the most cuts ever in a row in the history of the PGA Tour after he won.
And then we'll back up Tony Finau, make cut, throw the rest of your bank account on top 20. That is literally, I can't even stress how free that is. That is literally crazy. It's unbelievable. I've never seen a guy who can print money in a sport like Tony Finau. You got to give the guy credit. Listen, everyone shoots now. You can't win. Winning on the PGA Tour is incredibly difficult. That guy strolls up to fucking Valspar or wherever. He'll show up. He'll make $500,000 and he'll go home. And that's it.
Every week.
You make a lot of money for second place.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
You make a lot. What was Kizner's quote? Fontaine, what was his quote? You make a lot of money for 20th?
Yeah, they pay a lot to come in 25th.
Yeah, well, they pay a lot more to come in 8th, like he does every week.
The green putter sucks.
He's the GOAT. He is. I love him. No stress. Like, I'm nasty at golf, but winning's overrated. I want to go home. Give me my $700,000, and I'll see you next week.
Go back to Utah, go to see the Jazz, and
he'll go do his weirdo things in Utah and whatever. He does weirdo things for sure.
Yeah, he'll ski in June. And
Tony Finau is definitely a weirdo. I don't know what's good with him.
Maybe that's why he doesn't win. I don't know. Like, can you do
Not
something?
as weird
like,
as Jimmy Walker, though. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. What's
How is
that
he
thing?
still playing golf tournaments?
Dude, he went through some. He actually went. I'm glad you brought him up. He went through some weird stuff where people were just on Instagram were like really being like mean to him or something. It wasn't.
I know that so he won the 2016 or 15 PGA at
16, and that's why he's got exemptions like through this
16 at
year and
Baltusrol.
everything. 5 years.
Baltusrol, right? Yeah, I remember he went off that week.
Yeah, I was there. MB
But
Dave, but yeah.
he has been so bad since that
He got-
tournament.
He had Lyme disease, and he
Right
just
after it,
couldn't
right?
get it. Yeah, and he just couldn't get it ever back, and just I don't know, mentally. And then
It was
obviously, like Prev's talking about,
so-
people are just in his dome, and he can't get out.
But
So-
it is so hard to watch him play golf. I mean, obviously Lyme disease is serious. That sucks. Like,
Wait, you actually watch him?
dude, he sneaks into coverage. They show him, man. Or he'll be like, I forget what tournament it was, but for whatever reason, I saw him like hit 5 shots that day, and I was like, wow, this guy's lost out there. Like, I was like, this is just hard to like, and he just keeps he's just always in these tournaments. It's like, there's got to be somebody more fun we could sneak in there, you know?
And, I mean, Fontaine, I mean, what is the enigma that is Rory McIlroy at the moment as well? I mean, is he totally like feeling like big dick from Bryson right now, or is he just like in his own head?
I got something for that. So it's been a month for a swing coach. You switch swing coaches.
Right before Augusta, so yeah.
Yeah. So if you're talking about a month, the guy's upside is just
higher than anybody else.
The greatest. He has one upside. It's the best ever.
Give him some time. I think. I was actually listening to a couple things before this. At what point do you say, like, you got to think, when's he going to go off, right? And at what time do you jump on the train to hit Rory at his peak? I mean, for all we know, heck, it could be this week. We don't know. But when do you jump on that Rory train and ride it? Because he's that good. When he is hot, you're going to want it right before he's really, really hot.
It's early 2000s Tiger. It's
and let me tell you, though, Teach, the easiest way to lose money betting on golf is to try to guess when somebody's not going to stop sucking.
Yeah.
He's not a Ricky Fowler, though. He's a different breed. So that's why he's a little bit different, where I can jump on him a little bit quicker, actually way quicker than, let's say, him, than Ricky Fowler. I could jump on a Rory, but I also need to see some signs, right? I also need to see him play a little bit.
You need
more.
one good week, and then you're like, all right, he's coming.
A good way to handle Rory, TJ, is you grab him in something like a DraftKings and try to get him at really low ownership and hope he goes off. Like, betting him top 10 or top 20 or in a matchup would be very dumb because you have no idea what his form is. But taking a flyer on him on an $8, DFS lineup, get him at 7% ownership, and if he does go off, now you're going to be in serious business because he'll make more birdies than anyone. So it's like, that's the way to approach it.
It's only dumb until the day that you let it slip up, and then he's all of a sudden good. That's what's awesome with gambling. We just don't know when he's going to pop, right? We've seen, like, Sam Burns came out and won this week. Like, nobody put money on him to go out there and win. But, like,
Sam Burns was going to be a PGA Tour winner since like 2012. He was going to win on PGA Tour.
Sam Burns won me a bunch of money on DK a few weeks ago. That's for sure.
Just going back to Rory.
Yeah,
he's won at Quail Hollow 3 times.
And that's another thing too.
That's where it all started for him, right?
Yep. And he won the PGA at Kiowa. There's some familiarity in the stretch here.
Yeah.
It's a tough. If he was in form,
was at Quail Hollow in 2010.
This would be the time, huh?
If he was in form, this is the time. But I don't know.
I think for the thing with Rory though, like,
is he playing next week?
He's the lowest in the official World Golf rankings he's been in like 11 years, and it's only 15. So that's kind of a ridiculous stat.
Yeah, it is.
11 years he's been inside the top 15 in the world for that long. Like, that's how good he is, right? But like a year ago, like right now, like he was, I guess maybe a little more over a year ago, he was burning the PGA Tour to the ground, and he's just been ass since the COVID break they took. So it's like, and yes, he got a little messed up by going on this Bryson thing and everything like that, but he'll be back. He's got to, like, when he's when you're as good as he is, like he's a phenom, right? I mean, like he is.
Yeah,
like
he's different.
Ireland's Tiger Woods, like he was chipping into a washing machine, like has the commercials going back till he was super young. So he's just been in that spotlight forever where it's like at some point, like you gotta like wild reference coming at you, but like Rocky 3, like you gotta find the will to fight a little bit after like, like you gotta find like something inside you to make you care about it again. And like I think dropping as that hitting this low spot for him of getting to 15 or 16 in the world and all the because he usually is very candid with the media and like gives people a lot so he can never be like called out on shit. But I think it's like now that it's been about 8 months, 10 months maybe of him just kind of sucking to his standards, right? Like I think to his standards, right? I mean, he had a shit ton of top 10, top 15s like 6 months ago, but it's kind of fallen off. The last few months has been bad, but I think it's getting to the point now where he's gonna find something. I think he's too young and too good to just like totally mail it in. Where he's gonna come back with a fucking vengeance and give us like just have like a few weeks in a row where it's like first, third, fifth, like third again, like just all around it. But like TJ said, it's a matter of finding that prime. Given the schedule right now, like we said, Quail Hollow 3 times, Kiowa was his PGA championship. Did he have 2 PGAs or 1? I don't know. 2 PGAs because he won Valhalla too. But if he's gonna find some form, he doesn't have to be perfect these next few weeks. He's gonna be familiar. Greens is always his biggest issue, right? Like he always just putts like an idiot, given like how close he is all the time. Greens, he's got to be a little bit comfortable to win on these 3 times, or even and in Kiowa again. Like there's enough there where if you get decent odds on him, which I think if you're ever going to get him, they're now, it's worth sprinkling a little.
You'll never get him. Vegas loves Rory McIlroy more than any golfer on the tour. There's no doubt. And they're for good reason. But I do want to hear what you guys think. Like, who do you guys genuinely think is, like, the most truly underrated golfer on the PGA Tour? Like, this second.
Right now? Oof.
I mean, define underrated. Like
what I mean by that is, like, most realistic chance to win something like a U.S. Open that people don't know who they are.
Let's see.
I can lead that off if you want, and I think it's Patrick Cantlay, and I think he is freaking unbelievable at golf.
Oh, I wouldn't say he's underrated in the least bit.
He's not underrated in the least bit.
Dude,
Ever since he said the Mai Tai thing out in the Century Tournament of Champions, like
he's 12th in the world. He's 12th in the world. So
yeah,
I guess maybe that's not underrated. 6 last year, like he got to like top 5 maybe or 6 last year.
I would
Didn't he
say
go on like a hot streak at the end of last year?
I can tell you who the most
like nobody's picking him to win any of the next 2 majors. I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
I can tell you who the most overrated player in the world is. Matt Wolff.
Yep, fact.
Matt Wolff is 25th in the world, and he's outside the top 100 at the moment.
I got a take on that.
Yeah.
So, probably you and I talked about this. Whatever what is it, a drill that he learned? Whatever it is, it's not something that in golf or any sport for that matter, it's just not something that you can do and replicate every single time for a swing. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but remember from baseball, there's constants, right, in your swing. In golf, there also has to be some similar constants that you need to have. For Matt Wolff, I just don't see enough where he can consistently do that on a daily basis to be successful consistently throughout, right? I think you might see him be a great golfer and be winning on a PGA Tour, but then also you see how far his downfall goes. I don't think his swing allows him enough to be consistent.
And his short game sucks. How about that? Like, I mean, he's just I don't know.
Can he flop?
I think that's I think that's the biggest thing is, but TJ, to that point, like, how old is he? 21, 22?
Yeah, that too.
Long run,
he's hit.
Now he's terrible.
That's one thing.
He's hit more golf balls in his lifetime than all 5 of us have combined. Like, I don't think the consistency of his swing or anything like that is the issue. I mean, everyone's going to go through some swing flaws when they start hitting the ball a little sideways, and a little sideways on the PGA Tour makes a big difference.
And when you swing it as hard as he does, a little sideways gets to be a lot of sideways.
A lot of sideways. You get, ball rotation, a little RPMs going the other way. See you later. It's going,
Watch out for those RPMs.
Yeah, just
But
it's the short game, and he plays well when he strikes the ball well, and Rory's the same way, and that's kind of what the PGA Tour is getting to is you play well when you strike the ball well.
Yeah.
Because when you strike the ball well, these guys, they're pretty good at putting and they're going to make a lot of putts.
Yeah.
Now there's guys like Jordan Spieth who, he was lights out earlier in his career because he was making everything, getting up and down from anywhere. You put him in any spot around the green, he's getting up and down, making a par. He's making, what was his average of? It was something absurd, making like outside of 20-foot.
Yeah, he was making a stupid clip of those.
Everything. And now he's slowly getting it back to where he's still making an insane amount of putts, but his ball striking was just left and right. And he struggled putting, but now he's getting the putting back and ball striking is getting around. And now he's coming around. He's getting back on the up and up. But so much of it is just ball striking now.
I mean, he also forgot how to hit a driver, which I think kind of ruined his game for a while.
Couldn't hit his.
And also, too,
yeah.
Matt Wolff is 21 years old, and he's already losing it. I mean, if you're not concerned for him,
what better time to lose it though when you're 21 and you have 20 years to find it?
Yeah.
I could also caveat that. Imagine being a 21-year-old being on the tour and losing it before everybody else. Now he's got to go through the mental struggles, which. I even look back to the PGA Championship. Like his putting, with like you kind of alluded to, Paul, was so bad, and I think he kind of got in his own head.
When you're that young, though, the thing is he's lost right now, but he has legitimately 10 to 15 years to figure it out because of he won already. He's got top fives in 2 majors. It's clearly in there for him. He's got a. It's not going to be easy for him with the extra complexities that is his golf swing. It's a lot harder to get that back on track versus Louis Oosthuizen getting his swing back on track.
He's another part of my core.
That's the other one. I forgot.
Louis, the friggin' GOAT, dude.
But
Louis the best.
I think the way you separate from that bunch on the PGA Tour is if you putt really, really well, all you just make a shit ton of cuts versus these other guys that when they strike it well, top 15, don't strike it well, barely make the cut, if not miss it. The good putters are the guys that make 18 out of 20 cuts a year or something. That's a lot of tournaments, but you get the gist. So it's putting is falling away, but at the end of the day, you don't win without having a good putting week. But if you're a good ball striker, you have more opportunities to do so. Because then when you're a good ball striker, all you need is a good putting week and you're top 10 without even trying. You're like, oh shit, all right, yeah.
But also, I think it shows with Wolff, and you can just bounce off Wolff and look at Victor Hovland, and it's I mean, that boy is crazy.
So
I struggle to figure out what goes I know he's unbelievable. He's 11th in the world. I have him up in front of me right now.
He's a menace.
Lights out, But I watch his golf game, and it's so hard for me to pinpoint what he's so good at that makes him as good as he is. Obviously it's his overall ball striking, but it doesn't seem as robotic to me as a guy like Corey Connors, who every time I watch him play, I'm like, my goodness, that guy can hit an iron from any, and just
Jason Kokrak.
Kokrak's
Jason Kokrak and Corey Connors are the same person, I'm convinced. You know how they say everybody's got a duplicate? Those two are the same person. They have the exact same golf game.
You need to have Corey Connors in your lineup this week. Corey Connors is a must this week in your lineup.
I don't know, Mikey. When you watch Victor Hovland, ball striking is a loose way to say it, but I watch it and it doesn't make sense to me. His results are because he chips and putts very sketchy.
Yeah, his chipping. I don't mind his putting. I think he's
putting streaky, but it's
his
fine.
Putting streaky. His chipping gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies because he takes it out really far outside, and it's bad. It's really handsy. And I really worry on difficult golf course and tight lies and Bermuda and stuff. People that don't have proper chipping technique, so that scares me a little bit. And the fact that he got #1 in the world chipping like that just alludes to how good his ball striking is.
I know,
right? So
it looks weird to me. His swing doesn't look as pretty as some other people's.
Well, I think, right, he does something that I think a lot of amateurs could learn from. He aims a little right and he goes over the top and he just holds the face really square, right? A lot of amateurs come over the top and they open up the face because their body is telling me, hey, I'm swinging left. I'm gonna hit this left if I don't adjust my face. But what he does, he aims a little right, he comes over the top and he just holds his left wrist at an angle that allows him to hit the ball very straight and very solid, right? And that's why most of his drives are a tight little cut and most of his irons are a little draw, is because he holds on for dear life with that driver, or he has the ability kind of just to release and hit that hook and release if he wants to, or also kind of hold off a long iron. So I think his golf swing is very much foolproof for someone he's probably one of the pound for pound strongest players on the PGA Tour. Like he's kind of yoked up. He's kind of yoked
ball
up.
like a menace.
Like you look at his forearms and like you realize he's pretty freaking built. That's what he does. He's swinging over the top. He's a little steep, but he holds onto it and he just rotates so hard. So I think that's kind of where it is right now. Physically, he's probably one of the top guys in the entire world. And he's got a golf swing that's super repeatable that he's been doing for a long time. I think too, he's done a really good job. Like his swing coach right now is his swing coach at Oklahoma State, Alan Bratt. And like, I think he bought a house in Stillwater. He's kind of limited the variables that have gone on. Like he was #1 amateur in the world and he hasn't changed a whole lot since then. It took him a little while to get on the PGA Tour and figure it out. But once he did it, there was a ton of staying power, which I think, right, when we talk about Matt Wolff kind of bursting on the scene, we don't know about that staying power quite yet, just because from a foundation standpoint, the golf swing is not quite as pretty. I don't know about all the other things going on in his life, but right, Victor Hovland's got to top 15 in the world, and he's been there pretty steadily for almost 6 months now, and I don't see him leaving anytime soon, the way he's kind of shown off at WGC events, and he's a favorite in most majors, I would say, coming up in the next 5 years with the way he's been playing.
Sure.
Fontaine, who's winning this week?
Honestly, as much as it pains me to say this, I like just looking through, kind of the preliminary rankings, whatever you'll call them. I kind of brought him up because, I brought Victor up because I think, I love him this week, but I don't know why. That's it's like I just feel like he always plays well at big boy golf courses. He's always around, and it's like
I got him winning. I put 25 on him to win for 500.
Dude, I'm just seeing where he falls in the odds. Like it's not like over. He's not overly favorited where it's like, all right, I'm not. It's not worth the risk kind of thing. I don't know. It just he's behind guys like Rory, like Webb Simpson's rated higher than him. Like Webb Simpson can fuck off. He might be the most overrated player on the planet right now.
What's
you hate Webb Simpson, but he's nasty, man.
As good as he was the last
all
2-3
the time.
years, he stinks the last 8
You can't hate
Webb to 2 straight, Paul. He's so boring.
It's 4
Hook it in the woods.
I don't want that on my PGA Tour. It's
Hook it in the woods. Seriously.
He's a 2-iron.
Tired of you.
He's borderline another one of my daily fantasy staples because he's not going to miss a cut. He's always just going to be lingering around.
Yeah, but I can't watch him play golf. If I watch him play golf, I have seizures.
Are we here to watch him play golf or make money? I don't know what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
No.
It's true.
Yeah, club tour.
Yeah, people forget he won a major, so.
Oh, God. The stupid sweater he wore when he won that. My God.
TJ, who's winning?
So here, I think John Rahm this week. He's the only guy who has not missed a cut this year. 11-11 or this.
That trend will continue this week. Also, if you guys want to pull up for that one too. He's another one.
He's running in a scary direction right now. I think he might win a Kiowa.
I talk John Rahm, but then I'll kind of transition over to my ultimate lineup, what I want for DFS. But John Rahm is a guy I'm looking at right now. I mean, we kind of talked a little bit, Mike, you kind of alluded to the intangibles that you're not really talking about golf and how you're doing, but you kind of talk about the personal stuff. I think you kind of alluded to Matt Wolff, what he does on the side. For John Rahm, he just had a kid. And for whatever reason, in golf, you got to pair it with something, right? You got to take the stats, put it aside.
Motivated.
What's going on in life right now that motivates you? John Rahm winning, Quail Hollow, Wells Fargo, tough place to play, 16, 17, 18. As of right now, I mean, I know John Rahm didn't play last week, but I'm going him this week. I would see that be my top pick. Now, if we're looking at overall like DFS, I'm pairing John Rahm with Victor Hovland. That's my biggest pairing of the week. Granted, you are going to have to work it out where I've done it where you kind of do like a Michael Thompson and a Matt Jones. Who
Can you stop with Michael Thompson?
Go look at me. You want me to bring it up? I'll actually.
He's terrible.
But if you want a value guy and you want John Rahm and Victor Hovland on your team, you're going to pick a Michael Thompson because that guy.
Matt Neesmith. Pick him instead.
No, Michael
Thompson.
Thompson.
Gosh.
Actually, Matt Jones. You want to talk about Matt Jones for a sec? He's kind of like almost my sleeper of the week, but I think he's going to do well. You talk
Almost
about
your sleeper. He would be your sleeper.
Yeah, isn't he like 4,000? He's horrible.
7,400, 12 of 15 cuts made.
He's top. He's 54th in the world.
And we talk about
75-1 to win.
54th in the world, 75-1 is good odds.
a big stat this week that we've been alluding to is strokes game off the tee. And Matt Jones actually is well up there amongst everybody else. So if you put all those together, I think he's a very good value pick. Now, if you want to bet him, what's his odds? You guys probably have a
75-1.
Not good. There's a reason he's 75-1.
To aid TJ here, Michael Thompson, 12 out of 15 cuts this year. If you're going cheap, that's
I
not
flip
terrible.
flop.
Can I get how many top 20s? Do we have any top 20s or
I
top
got
10s?
one top 10 out of them this year.
But it's not about that. Sometimes it's about the intangibles, right? I
Okay.
think where a lot of people get
What's
mixed up.
Michael Thompson bringing to the table for intangibles? Please enlighten me.
Oh,
I don't know. With that,
I'm gonna have to
guy,
switch to
really
vodka if we
fun.
keep talking about Michael Thompson.
Hey, if he's making the cut, he was that guy where if you start from the bottom, and I do this often, if you start from the bottom in DFS and you kind of work your way up to see who's the highest percentage that kind of really catches your eye, that was the first one. And so like if you go off of that, which I often do, I'll do a lineup where I'll get a guy who's making the cut and I'll kind of pair it together with studs and duds, get your top guys like a JT and a Victor Hovland or a Rahm and Victor Hovland and pair that guy down there. I'll do that. And I'll get value guys that are going to make the cut. Hey, are they going to win it? No. But at the end of the day,
Make the cut, sneak me some points.
And on your Rom
make my money
point, Tej, first round Thursday matchups, Rom is a massive favorite against Rory, big favorite against Bryson, and also a pretty big favorite against JT. Favorites on
more? What's that all about? What's the
So minus 130 against JT, minus 145 against Bryson, minus 175 against Rory.
He's gonna beat Rory. That's
Yeah.
That's,
we also talk about Bryson here. So one thing I've realized with Bryson, he kind of like elevates his play the tournament or two before the major. And then like we're all talking about Bryson, what's he gonna do at the major?
and then
Then he kind of let us down a little bit. I think it's gonna be consistent here. He might win this. Especially strokes gained off the tee.
I think he does definitely like schedule his shit on purpose, right? Like he tries to peak at the right times. Like he's in like
He's an
the
athlete.
camp.
That's what you do.
Yeah, he's yeah. But the thing with him is
Dude.
it's gotta be a golf course that like makes sense for what he does.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kiowa is.
Free bet alert. You guys want free money? Just
What?
found it. Wells Fargo top Asian golfer. Okay. Easy. I'm
Sounds
doing
good.
it as we speak. Sunjay M minus 120. The next guy is Kyung Hoon Lee plus 650. Come on.
Hammer Sanjay this week.
Oh,
Hammer.
this like, oh man, this stuff is just, see, I'm telling you, yeah, Sunjay. Here we go. I
My
might put 100 on
sleeper
it.
for DFS this week, though, we're a little all over the place here, but that's fine.
I know, but I'm searching for money plays for everyone, you know.
Patton Kazire,
Oh.
cheap as shit DFS, 14 out of 17 cuts this year, 3 top 10s along with that. Looking at, they put those little like average points per start, kind of thing in the DFS. He is like 10, 12, 13 points higher than anybody else in his price range. I think, and he's a big dude, so I think he'll be all right around Quail Hollow.
He's pretty good. He's one of those guys. He's like Matt Wolffontaine. He's either nasty or, my God, he is so bad. It is unreal how bad Patton Kizzire can be at golf. Because trust me,
Dude.
like that's one of my value staple DFS guys is Kizzire.
Well, 14 out of 17. That's all you got to look at.
He popped, TJ. I went from the bottom up and he popped.
I'm surprised he didn't pop for me, but I saw Patton Kizzire, so usually I kind of stray away from that. But he missed the RBC Heritage. That's about it.
Yeah.
TJ, top rest of the world, Emiliano plus 950. Come on, you're playing with me. Who's playing with me?
Emiliano.
Paul, who's your pick this week?
Oh man, this name just keeps popping at me, and it's been a long time. Ricky Fowler.
No.
Oh
yeah.
What do you mean by pop? Explain yourself.
He's been trending upwards. It's been like 5 years.
That pops?
Yeah.
Oh Lordy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's trending all right.
He's trending. He's trending.
Mikey,
Maybe not a winner. Maybe not a winner. Maybe a top 20, top 10. I don't have those odds available for myself yet, but I'm putting money at him right now for plus 6,000 for sure.
I got a confession to make.
Who's your true winner then? If you're just sprinkling Ricky for the hell of it.
No. Like I honestly think that he's gonna win this week.
Okay. I try to give you the best.
All right. I'm gonna go on top of that here. We got to get that out of the system here. But I'm ready to be hurt this week. I'm ready for Tony Finau to get it done.
Really?
Good for you. Keep doing it. Keep doing it every week. Eventually you'll get it.
Right? He's too
so,
good.
I'm not going to put a whole lot of money on a winner here this week. I think it's a really good field. It'd be tough to pick a winner. I'd probably stray away from it this week, but probably sprinkle something on Tony just to get the blood flowing on Sunday afternoon. I am actually going to be driving past Charlotte on Sunday afternoon, so I was thinking about maybe sneaking into Wells Fargo with my brother. We got to drop my parents off at the Charlotte airport around like 2:30. I was thinking about that.
Let me tell you something. When you got the opportunity to do something, capitalize on it, because you may never get that same opportunity again.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see a little live action from the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow Golf Club this weekend.
Dude,
but
when I used to be a DFS psycho, the best thing for golf was the live. So like I remember when I worked at BMW Championship back in 2017, I remember I was in like this DFS group, like taking it so serious. And Patrick Reed was just a disaster. And I saw him like he was out on the range really late, like putting late night when we were like cleaning up on Wednesday night, putting real late, clearly not hitting the ball well, was yelling at caddies, like frustrated. And I'm like messaging everyone in this group. I'm like, yo, guys, like I'm at the course. Patrick Reed is doing terrible, like hitting the ball awful. He played so bad that week too. I remember that was a week Leishman hit probably 700 birdies in 4 days. I'm in one. It was sick. And Ricky Fowler came in second. Speak of it. That was the last time I've seen him play good.
Oh, he's back.
But he's back. He's trending in the right direction.
The live, on-site information is definitely the best. To speak on that play too, the most money I ever made in a bet was, and this is like borderline insider trading, was Fairfield University basketball was traveling to Chapel Hill to play UNC, and they got stuck in LaGuardia and had to spend the night in LaGuardia and get a 5 a.m. flight out the next morning. And they were like plus 31. They lost by like 40 that day. One of my best friends growing up was a guard on Fairfield's team. No one knew that they had to stay the night in the airport, and that they like got to Chapel Hill like 2 hours before the game for like a 1 o'clock, Saturday game or whatever the case may be. There was no way they were covering that line at whatever the case may be. None of them slept. None of them did whatever. So like getting that live information, that insider trading of sports betting is really where we got to be.
I remember that one. You gave me that tip.
I think I told you to hammer that at one point.
Yeah, I
take
did.
The house,
I did.
take the car,
Yeah.
Bank account, push it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I will also this weekend, Friday we're teeing it up in Greenville, South Carolina at Thornblade Country Club where they play the BMW tournament on the Corn Ferry. So going to do a little course scouting and see what type of horses for the courses are going to get it done on the Corn Ferry later this year. So we're doing a bunch of scouting everywhere, all over the place right now. So, and I think at one point, it's the course we're playing on Saturday, we're playing Furman Golf Course, which at one point was part of the rotation for that BMW. So we could be doing double. We'd be doing double this weekend and really seeing what those courses are all about. But yeah, I'm ready to be hurt with Tony Finau. Couple names that popped up for me as far as value, and I haven't had an opportunity to look at the odds. But as far as like names that are definitely lower, JB Holmes, who played terrible on Sunday the other day, like a couple weeks ago, I think has had some success at Wells Fargo, and I wouldn't shy away from him from a top 20. I'd be worried about a top 10 just because if he does somehow get in that last group, he's capable of shooting 81 like he did whatever tournament that was.
Yep.
And then
I forgot what that was. I remember that though. Yep.
Yeah, and then I like Russell Henley this week. Like he's been showing a little bit of form, and someone who has a tendency kind of to pop and make a shit ton of birdies. Like, right, he won in Hawaii for his first ever win back in like 2015 and shot like 30 under. Like the guy is capable of playing really, really well, and I think there's something to be said kind of those Georgia guys and the way they play in the North and South Carolina area on the Bermuda and the firm conditions and the fast, like the war. It's just there's something about the Bermuda and the heat that I think sometimes those guys really play pretty
Russell
well.
Henley is like a penny stock. Like you want to grab him real low, and then hopefully he strikes the ball well, because I think he's a pretty good putter of what I remember. And I remember that's like a good point, because he was a guy too a couple of years ago that I used to pick a lot as well. He had a pretty good hot streak. A guy I like this week though is my guy who's been playing outstanding golf this year. Brian Harman is a stud. Okay. All right. I mean, I had the week I picked JT to win the Players, I actually had two guys that week, TJ, miss the cut, and I cashed that lineup because I had JT and Harman on that lineup, and I cashed it with two guys missing the cut. However, my number one this week to win, 25 for 750, is Mr. Gilmore. I'm your caddy, the GOAT, Willie Zalatoris, baby. Beast. And I think he's the truth, and he's holding up a trophy this week. That's what I'm saying.
Trev, let me give you a little peek behind the curtain here. So here's one of my lineups with your with Brian Harman. I think you got to have Brian Harman.
Do we read anything into the fact that Brian Harman has won the Wells Fargo?
Yep, 2017.
Yes.
It was the year that it wasn't at Quail Hollow.
I am aware of that as well. I did note that.
But
it was at Eagle Park, right? I believe.
It was out in Wilmington, North Carolina. It was like Eagle Point or something like that.
Eagle something, I know. That's all I know.
And that's okay, Mikey, because here's the thing. Brian Harman, that guy just competes. Do you see how upset he gets by missing a putt?
He's a stud, dude.
It's like game 7 of an NBA championship and like Kobe missed a fucking jumper at the elbow. Like it seems like every putt he's that upset. So the fact that he's that competitive, also the Masters, right? I thought he performed very well there. Tough course. I think he just performs at a tough course in general, and he's on the upswing. So
he's definitely a hot hand right now.
He's a hot hand, dude. And listen, Mikey, I know that he wasn't playing and he won the Wells Fargo when it wasn't at Quail Hollow. However, him winning, like we were touching on earlier, motivated, right? He's won this tournament in the past. That means he's going to go out there and he cares about this event because this is a place that, he has, I don't know how many, quick pop quiz, how many fucking tournaments has Brian Harman won on the PGA Tour? Probably 3. But it's one of those things where it's like he cares about the event, and that's things I look forward to. Like, yeah, okay, it wasn't Quail Hollow, but he's only like 8,200 on DraftKings and low value, and he's been playing really, really good this year. So, good place to look.
So yeah, Brian Harman won the John Deere in 2014. So you can argue, does that even count? He won by 1 against Zach Johnson. So yeah, does that count? And then he won the Wells Fargo in 2017.
That's it. 1.5 wins.
0 wins. Is that? I mean, Wells Fargo is that even?
I mean, is that even a tour? Is that even a tour stop? The place they had to play the Wells Fargo. That's like a.
Yeah.
That's just. I mean, they kick it to the side. They're never going to play there again because
Did I go on
Quail Hollow is not hosting a PGA anytime.
In 2017, it was at Quail Hollow, the Wells Fargo.
But no, he didn't
won.
win. He won it. He won out east. He won at.
No,
he
he won at Quail Hollow.
He didn't. He won.
Yeah.
He won in Wilmington. I can
Did
tell
he?
you right now, he won because I remember it was a par 5 and he had a shitty chip on 18. Then it was a long par 4 and he made a pretty
Was it
good
the
putt on
one
18.
that they had at Eagle Point?
Because 2017 they played the PGA at Quail Hollow, so they didn't play the normal.
Very
tournament there.
true.
Okay. He
That's
won
like
that one by
1 year.
one shot over DJ then.
That was a sick golf course. They should go back to that golf course. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure probably from an infrastructure standpoint, it couldn't hold up normally. And Quail Hollow being in the Charlotte area and all the money and all the sponsorship opportunities that kind of sit with being there. Obviously, it's tough to take it away there. But
Hey, Prev, to your point, back to Brian Harman, right? A little sneak peek. I got a lineup here with Brian Harman. I got John Rahm, which I think is going to be overall winner this week. Brian Harman at 8,700. Tommy Fleetwood coming in at $8,000. We got Stuart Sink, which you said before. What is this
Pick
guy
him
like
every
Tiger
week.
Woods? Ride the hot train because he hasn't played since RBC. Kevin Streelman and Michael Thompson. So
Kevin Streelman hits the shit out of it.
What I'm going to be doing, Thursday 6:50 in the morning when that locks in, and I'm driving up to the Berkshires and my phone's posted like this, and I'm watching PGA Tour. That's my lineup right there. That I'm gonna do.
Pay attention to the road.
Couple low guys I like too. Luke List, Carlos Ortiz, your boy Taylor Gooch. TJ, I know you like him.
Yeah.
You know a guy who we used to talk about back in the day, Fontaine? You remember we used to talk about Kyle Stanley?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Kyle Stanley
AFS,
used to be literally the best iron player on the planet for like 2 months. I remember. I don't know what season it was, but he was literally a god.
Yeah.
Like
It was the same time when Keegan Bradley was relevant. Which, by the way, Keegan Bradley is
Still
relevant
is.
now. 8,500. Vermont guy. If he's playing well.
Brendan Steele.
Yeah.
Oh, also my other guy who I'm going to put money on winning. My guy Jocko Beast. Jocko Neiman. Animal, dude. Animal.
That's a goal.
Gosh.
That's a swing. I don't get.
And you said he was the only one who hasn't missed a cut. Jocko Neiman's 14 for 14 this year in cuts made with 4 top 10s. Menace. Telling you.
John Rahm's got 7 top 10s and 11 cuts made. That's pretty ridiculous.
John Rahm's a literally god amongst boys, though.
I think Rahm is a serious problem for the U.S. Open. I mean, he's going to be if he keeps trying he's going to be the odds-on favorite. That was where he got his first win was Torrey, right? That eagle putt on 18, and he's got top 5 and 4 other starts there. Insider, quick tip: get it out before the odds are ridiculous. Throw one in on John Rahm right now at the U.S. Open. Do yourself a favor. Get it before he top 5.
You think Vegas makes the odds before like that? Come on. Do you think they follow the trends?
There's long shot stuff out there.
Yeah, you could maybe an offshore would have.
Throw it on the weird prop of to win a major for the year. Just hammer that then. Whatever it. However you.
Let me ask you this question.
Get it.
Max Homa, $9,000.
$9,000.
You selling, overvalue, undervalue? What do you think there? 9,000.
Sell.
Overvalued.
I think
overvalued.
I think he's got to cool down a little bit. He was so hot to start the year.
But he
I know
won.
last week he had a good week, but he made 400 feet of putts. You're not going to do that every week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that's true.
coming back to earth.
The ball found a cup a couple times, and all of a sudden he was in first. Yeah. Regression is imminent with Max Homa.
Although he has won at Quail Hollow before, right? He won here.
Yep.
Won last year. It won last time I was here.
Oh,
He's the reigning champ.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
He is the 2019 reigning champion. That is true.
COVID 2020 didn't have a Wells Fargo, so ipso facto.
That's too high of a price though for him. I think
way too high.
Because I see him a lot more likely to finish like 27th this week than anything higher than that.
Well, who's at 77 right now? Because I'm trying to think of the combination of Brian Harmon and Tommy Fleetwood with Max Homa and someone else at 77. What can we get at 77?
Yeah, Streelman right now is coming in at 7,700, and so is Brendan Steele. I mean,
That-
you talk about the same golfer, the best twice guys in the entire league. They put them right next to each other, and the first 5 letters of the name are the same. Like, this can't be any perfect. 7,700? Like, come on.
Brendan Steele on 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Brendan Steele.
Hey, 12 out of 15 made the cut. Brendan, who hit
Brendan
the ball
Steele,
further?
Kyle Stanley, Zalatoris, Reed, Ortiz, Neiman. That sounds like $1 million.
Tell
Come
me,
on.
who hits the ball further, Streelman or Steele? I think they're the
Steele.
same person. I don't
Steele.
Brendan Steele hits the ball like a moose.
know. Okay.
Kidding me?
Well, I want
Beast.
moose. I don't want to. There, I want
Moose.
Evan
Ooh,
Streelman's
last time I heard that was about me.
Moose. Oh yeah, Murph hits it like a moose.
Paul had the twist-based technology working a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some of the best ball striking.
Murph hit a couple seeds.
I kind of dialed it this last weekend, spent some time, and like twist face may no longer be needed. It is. Oh my god.
Yeah, Murph, you were hitting
Something
on
in
a
my
string.
It's deep.
Hopefully mine's coming tomorrow. I'm excited. Mike, you have any broken clubs? I'll take care of you. Small fee.
Broken clubs?
Yeah. You, know,
Burns 3 new clubs.
you want a new driver?
Yeah.
Oh, I know you've been getting like new Sims for your whole life.
$0.
Yeah, for the
But-
last 6 years.
No.
Yeah, basically.
He turned
Prev, I'm in good
the
shape right now with the
Jet
sticks.
speed into a sim too.
Hey, just looking out for the staff. You know,
No,
it is what it is.
I appreciate it. I got all Titleists and a Maverick driver right now. It's working decent. Game was okay this week. Slightly, honestly, I've digressed a little bit in my time in Pinehurst since I came out hot and shot under par at Mid Pines the first week I played when Joey was in town.
Playing some very real golf courses though too. So
Yeah, I'm not playing bad. I mean, like on Saturday I shot 74 and it was 7,300 yards. Like it's not like
yeah, that'll do.
I'm playing fine, but
Yeah,
I'm
that
ready.
sounds all
I'm
right.
That's good.
I've been gearing up and practicing a bunch. Game feels good.
Oh.
I'm playing in a U.S. Open local down here in Pinehurst, which
Nice.
no expectation to like make it to sectionals or anything, but the expectation of play a really difficult golf course and go out there and play and
yeah, get
like,
the competitive juices flowing. There's literally nothing better in the world.
yeah,
Sweating
and
your
like
balls
I know I'm
off for 36.
Yeah,
Damn.
and just
Yeah.
whack it. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like I know I'm capable of shooting under par on like if I play well, I can shoot under par on most golf courses.
Your only
Maybe-
goal should be
so-
lead the field in driving distance. That's it. Nothing
I
else
actually-
matters.
Here's the amazing golf ball walker, guys.
Yeah. What else matters?
Prev, the real travesty was when Mr. Fontaine caddied for me in the Mass Open, and I think it was 2017. They didn't measure driving distance that week, and I most certainly led the field in driving distance.
That's
Like,
it.
Absolute missiles. I think
I hit
what was it, the third hole of the tournament, right? Like that 12th hole.
So let's start off on 10. 10, I had a tap in for birdie, and then I made the worst double bogey of all time on the 11th hole.
Little
And then I
average.
hit one, and then I hit one like I don't know what
340, 330.
340, 340, 350 off the tee after being so angry about that double bogey. It was like a 400-yard hole, and I hit a pitch in there.
Had
Had a
60
pitch.
I think he had like 65 yards at most to like a back pin, hit it to like 3 inches, another birdie. So went birdie double birdie to start the weekend, and that was pretty telling of the next
That's what we like.
holes to go.
We already talked about pars before. We don't do pars here. No pars.
I was 4 over through 10 holes, and I had 4 birdies.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was an up and down. Fontaine, I can't. The fact that was like almost coming up on 4 summers ago is wild.
Yes, wow.
But yeah, no,
Nothing
there's
better. I'm looking for as
nothing better
many
than competitive
shapes
golf.
on my scorecard as possible. Like, give me all the shapes. Like, I don't care what they are. Just
Makes it
give them
fun,
to me.
but I mean, we gotta get a lot of get a lot of the more no shapes usually the better. But
You want the
it's usually a lot more fun to have
you want circles and double
no
circles. Anything else, get out.
Shapes.
No triangles.
No triangles. I've made a couple of triangles, that's for sure.
Colin Haiti put the
we all have.
triangle on it.
What else we got? Wells Fargo boys. Anything else you want to touch on?
I got a little.
I think with the picks we just made here, outside of Ricky Fowler, we got a good chance to take.
All right. We'll see. And if we do some like season long thing, and the plus 6,000 to 1, whatever the hell he is just gonna boost me, and I'll be covered for the entire season.
That's true, and that's a good little transition there too. I mean, like, for the listeners out there, like, this is a special episode here we're bringing to you, but we are in the works of putting together a weekly, monthly, etc. gambling little side action through Instagram, YouTube, wherever we got to put it. That has not been finally decided yet, but we are kind of going through figuring out where to put that, and look forward to like some more consistent tournament by tournament breakdown, deep dives, DFS, top 20s, more prop picks, matchups, whatever it may be, where, like Previn has said quite a bit on this episode, free money. We're just looking to give our followers a little bit of free money. So keep an eye out coming weeks for, it may not be a podcast every week, but IGTV is going to be buzzing. YouTube's going to be buzzing, all that fun stuff. Gambling with these guys here. We're going to hash it out at least once a month, try and do it every week, depending on what we got for a tournament schedule coming up.
Yeah, let's get it.
I got one more thing.
Here we go.
Lucas Glover.
God.
Had him last week. Did real good.
Can I ask this question? So on DFS, priced at $7,800. I looked at that and I was just like, that's like buying a home over $200,000 asking price. Just can't do it. He won back in 2011, runner-up 2009. That high, I mean, we sleeping on him. You guys buying
Lucas
him?
Glover likes shapes. Like we were talking about, he's a big shape guy. Like, he'll make triangles, but he'll make double circles too, and a lot of them.
Did people play in this tournament those years?
I know.
What was the field strength?
2009, who was number 1 in the world?
I mean, he won the U.S. Open that year, so
that was Beth
Shinnecock.
Bethpage.
Here's the thing.
Bethpage is right. Bethpage.
Yeah.
Shinnecock was the nicest course I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Just a tidbit.
He hasn't missed the cut in the last 5 starts. He went.
He's definitely. I think. What was his price again?
$7,800.
I think if he works out as your last player to pick is $7,800, I think he's a good pick. I wouldn't go out of my way to pick him though.
He shot 66-76 last week, Friday, Saturday.
Did you read the article? You ever read the article? You ever read the article about his wife?
I've seen some things.
No.
His wife beats him.
Pretty sure she abuses him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly. TJ, do some reading on that. Yeah.
TJ, deep dive.
Yeah, so I would actually probably check Instagram, see if she's in town. If she's not in town, maybe
no
maybe
comment.
She has a shot, but
this
if she
wasn't
doesn't,
the discussion of the whole podcast, or the segment here. We should have talked about this first. What happened to Lucas Glover? He gets just
if he doesn't play well, he's not going to have a great week at home. So he's just there's some issues going on.
Allegedly.
We'll leave it at that. I have no comment to that, but
no comment.
Do some reading up on that and a little research.
But hey, like I said, my free bet of the week, if we can do, I think a good thing if we all do like a free play of the week. I mean, Sanjay and Top Asian is my free play of the week for sure. Lock it in, -120. CT Pan is terrible, and he is the third option of that list. That's all I'm saying. Hideki is not in the field. That's all I'm saying.
I love that. It's hard to argue against that.
Should we go through and get like locks of the week real quick, like rapid fire?
Yeah, free play of the week. We'll call it free play of the week.
Free play of the week.
Prev's there.
Free play of the week, whether you want it to be like free money or hey, these are two like this is a can't miss person, top 10, whatever, just something along those lines.
I'm riding Ricky Fowler top 10.
Value and free money, I guess, from Paul.
Don't forget, people gamble responsibly.
Yeah. Jeez.
TJ?
Put your money in your 401k before you do that first. Thank you.
John Rahm, top 5.
I mean, the odds probably aren't even good on that. I can check the odds on that. That's
I'll
because
go-
he's so nasty.
I know we try to tend to, we don't love the week-long matchups, but I think, boy, Jesus, some of these are brutal. I think I'm going to have, I got to stay on brand here. Anytime I get Webb Simpson as a heavy favorite, I'm going to fade the shit out of that. I'm going Patrick Cantlay plus 122 over Webb for the week.
I kind of love that.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Minus 142 on that. No chance I could ever get myself to go 142 on Webb.
Yep. And I like we're going back to, like I said, I don't want to get hurt this week. So Tony Finau, top 10. If you can get a pick to win his group, I don't care what the odds are. Mortgage the house. Playing with Michael Kim and Jimmy Walker. I don't care what odds you get on that. Put as much money as you possibly can. He will win that group. I don't even they probably haven't published them, but if you can find them, let me know. Slide into our DMs, and happy to pool some money to put some cash on that. But fellas, it was a pleasure having you guys on, and looking forward to really getting something consistent. I think we can do something consistent right from the beginning on Instagram of really kind of getting kind of like this rapid fire thing. Hey, what's our pick of the week? What's kind of our free money, right? Like, Prev, I would love for you to hop on Instagram and on our story and be like, hey, free money of the week and something like that. Like, I think we have an opportunity to really kind of scratch that itch when it comes to gambling. And I think a lot of people that listen to Bogey Proof and follow our content, whether it be on Instagram or Twitter or listen to our podcast wherever we have them. I think it's a really good opportunity to kind of bring some new people in there. And I think we've had a ton of engagement the last week with our giveaway and with our more consistent, posts on Instagram and things like that. And we're really looking to kind of continue off that momentum and really make this kind of create some special content. So boys, we appreciate you guys having you on, and looking forward to continuing the relationship and producing some sweet content.
Cheers, boys. Always.
So, boys, thanks for having us for sure.
Yeah,
Cheers.
boys.
Go
thank you
Sanjay.
so much. Look forward to this.
And Willie Z.
Z, watch out.
Go Sebastian Munoz.
All right, boys. Have a good night, all right?